Ever wondered why Israel's Prime Minister, Netanyahu, received an ultimatum from President Biden? The answer lies in a series of events that have sparked international concern. It all started when an Israeli strike tragically claimed the lives of aid workers, leading to a wave of global condemnation. This incident prompted President Biden to take a hard look at the situation in Gaza, and he didn't like what he saw. He saw a need for immediate changes to protect civilian lives, and a pressing requirement for more aid to reach this beleaguered area. The safety of those providing this much-needed assistance also came under scrutiny. Biden demanded that Israel guarantee safe passage for all aid workers, emphasizing the significance of their role in alleviating human suffering. So that's the background, but what was the ultimatum exactly? Biden's ultimatum to Netanyahu was clear and firm. The US President, Joe Biden, demanded immediate changes from Israel to protect civilian lives in Gaza. Amidst global condemnation of an Israeli strike that took the lives of aid workers, Biden's call for Israel to allow more aid into Gaza, ensure safe travel for aid workers, and take steps to alleviate human suffering, echoed loudly. Along with these demands, Biden also urged an immediate ceasefire and negotiations to bring hostages home. The ultimatum carries weight, as Biden also hinted at a potential reduction in US support if Israel does not comply with these demands. This comes at a time when the US continues its military support for Israel, despite concerns over the country's actions. And while 8 United States senators, including Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, have urged Biden to condition Israel's aid on compliance with international humanitarian law, it remains to be seen how Israel will respond. But what could happen if Netanyahu decides to ignore this ultimatum? Ignoring an ultimatum from the US president is no small matter. The potential repercussions of Netanyahu dismissing Biden's ultimatum could be significant and far-reaching. At the heart of the matter, we find the possibility of reduced US military support to Israel. This isn't just about the financial aspect, but it's also about the strategic alliance and operational cooperation that have been built over decades. A key factor to consider here is the growing push among US lawmakers to condition aid on compliance with international humanitarian law. Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, among others, have already urged Biden to apply pressure on Israel to expand aid to Gaza. If Netanyahu chooses to ignore Biden's ultimatum, he may find himself facing a more united front domestically in the US, pushing for the conditioning of aid. The potential impact on the Israel-US relationship is another major consideration. The United States and Israel have enjoyed a close relationship for many years based on shared values, strategic interests, and mutual respect. However, tensions have been rising. The ultimatum could serve as a turning point, marking a shift in this relationship. Finally, we must consider the possibility of an escalation of tensions, not just between the US and Israel, but also in the wider region. The US's stance could significantly influence other players in the Middle East, possibly exacerbating an already volatile situation. The ball is now in Netanyahu's court, but when can we expect a response? The world now waits for Netanyahu's response to Biden's ultimatum. The clock is ticking and the stakes are high. With no set date for a response, the world watches, holding its collective breath. Yet, given the urgency of the situation, we could be hearing from Netanyahu sooner rather than later. Netanyahu stands at a crossroads, his decision hanging in the balance. Should he choose to comply with Biden's demands, he would be taking significant steps towards addressing the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. This could potentially ease the growing tensions between the US and Israel and pave the way for further negotiations to bring hostages home. On the other hand, if Netanyahu chooses to ignore Biden's ultimatum, the consequences could be severe. The US has made it clear that continued support is contingent on Israel's actions. Ignoring the ultimatum could lead to reduced US support, a blow that would undoubtedly be felt across Israel. The echoes of this decision could also influence the relationship between the two nations and their standing on the global stage. The implications of Netanyahu's decision are far-reaching, affecting not only the US-Israel relationship, but also the lives of countless civilians in Gaza. His response could potentially shift the course of the current crisis, making it a pivotal moment in this ongoing narrative. As we wait for Netanyahu's response, one thing is clear: his decision will indeed have far-reaching implications.